the top 10 best anti-inflammatory foods that you can eat. I'm Dr. Carrie Lam, this is Dr. Michael Lam. We're going to talk about how you can decrease inflammation through your food. So number one is brightly colored fruits and vegetables. Why brightly colored?
Well, the color is there for a reason. And the color is there usually contains chemicals that are anti-inflammatory.
They're called phytonutrients, right?
Correct.
Like yellow foods have carotenoids, red foods have lycopene, things like that. Mm-hmm. And they are very nutritious when they're brightly colored. And that is the part where it helps the inflammation. And number two is grapes and berries. What's in grapes and berries?
Grapes has a antioxidant. Is part of the great French paradox that we discovered that in people in Europe, for example, they drink a lot of wine and their heart disease is actually quite low. Right. And it's because of the active ingredient in grapes that causes
resveratrol.
That do the cleansing effect.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like when you hear of the blue zones, 5 out of 7 of them actually drink a lot of wine. And blue zones are the people that live to 100 years old. They are the highest population of people that live to 100. And so that's very interesting that grapes, which becomes wine, has a lot of resveratrol. Mm-hmm. So number 3 is nuts. So how does nuts decrease chronic inflammation?
Well, nuts is high in protein, is high in fat, especially fat. Other than peanuts and cashew, most of the nuts are actually very good, provided that you know how to prepare. The details is the key because nuts has a coating, and the coating is designed to ward off rodents when they're in the wild. The nuts prevent the rodents from eating them. Mm-hmm. So you want to prepare the nuts in a certain way in order to gain back the natural goodness without having your body being attacked by the inflammation caused by the coating, for example.
So then the ways you can get rid of this coating is by soaking the nuts, right?
Yeah, soaking the nuts for some time and then dehydrating them or oven bake them is a very, very good way to reduce these anti-enzymes coating. Mm-hmm.
Right, and then you'll be able to absorb it a little better. Mm-hmm. And nuts also are very high in omega-3, so that's very good to eat more tree nuts, but not peanuts. Mm-hmm. All right, so number 4 is olive oil.
Well, olive oil is really, really good. And it's not dependent upon the temperature as long as it's not extra virgin. So I highly encourage everybody to use olive oil not only as a salad dressing but also as a cooking oil.
Oh, so olive oil is also very high in the poly and monounsaturated fats, the good type of fats that you want, not like the trans fat, all right? So that can be very anti-inflammatory. Number 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 actually, is spices. Spices like turmeric, curcumin, cinnamon, cardamom, a lot of those are very anti-inflammatory. Do you know any more spices? What's your favorite spice?
I like to eat curries.
Yeah,
so that's natural. I mean, for centuries, this has been used in various parts of the world for not only their taste, but their health effect. It's just that we never really understand the degree of importance, but now we do. So, these are highly encouraged foods to take. Mm-hmm.
All right. So comment below what your favorite spice is. Not the Spice Girls, but what your favorite spice. And we'll be very interested to know. So number 6 is garlic. So garlic is very anti-inflammatory, but sometimes it can be kind of hard on the stomach if you eat it raw, right?
Correct. But garlic is a very unique compound because it has been shown to not only be anti-inflammatory, but it kills bacteria or viruses or co-infections to a large degree. And so it acts to help keep the toxic load down in the body, especially in the gut. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's very good. Number 7 is avocados. Okay, this is like the millennials' favorite fruit. They say that millennials are going bankrupt because of avocados, but maybe that's a good thing because you are decreasing your amount of inflammation. What's in avocados that's so
Well, the
great?
good fat in avocado acts as a stabilizing agent. In women, especially, the basis of hormones, whether it's estrogen, progesterone, or in men testosterone, the building fundamental block is cholesterol, but good cholesterol. Huh? So the avocado has good fat that can turn into wonderful building blocks to allow the hormones to be built within. And so that's excellent.
And even the hormone that can decrease inflammation, like cortisol, is made from good fat. So that's why I eat more avocados. Our number 8 is organic meat. The processed meat nowadays is everywhere. You hear about the antibiotics that they get fed. You hear about the wheat that they give them is not very good. So organic is the way to go. But what's so good about the meat?
Well, animals that are fed hormones basically pass the hormones to us. And hormones can be estrogenic, that can lead to certain types of cancer. Growth hormone that's given to animals to feed them and make them grow faster, like chicken. They tend to make the meat a little softer. So much so that nowadays when you eat organic chicken, for example, it's kind of tough. We are also used to soft meat, but the softness of the meat, for example, comes from a hormone degrading the muscle fibers. So you have to be very careful, especially with people with hormonal imbalance, including adrenal weakness. Excessive amount of hormones can cause the cortisol imbalances to be harder to be rebalanced.
Yeah, so just choose your meats correctly if you do eat meat and you want to go organic. And number 9 is also along the same lines, fish. Fish are very high in omega-3s. The fatty fish like salmon, they're great. Do you have any other input about fish?
Well, I like fish because it is a good meat. However, the problem with fish is that almost all coastal fish within 2 or 3 miles from the land around the world has been overfished. And the toxicity from mercury, from nuclear plants, from garbage that flows into the sea are basically being absorbed by these fishes through their food and eventually pass to us. So yeah, fish is good. In fact, I think if you are pregnant, the recommendation now is not to eat coastal fishes because of the mercury, etc. However, if you go deep sea fishing, up in the virgin waters, deep sea fish are still wonderful.
Yeah. So you got to be careful what type of fish you eat and how often you eat. I did have a friend who ate 6 cans of tuna a day and started hearing losing his hearing. And so definitely don't eat 6 cans of tuna a day.
You see, the problem with the canned fish is not so much the fish alone, but the canned fish are lined with plastic in order to contain the fluids. And these plastic can leak. This is in addition to the can itself, which can be aluminum and that leaks. So you have a double whammy with canned foods, especially of that nature.
Yeah, so just be careful what you eat, okay? And then our last one, number 10, for decreasing inflammation is ginger. Ginger.
Well, ginger has been used for centuries acts as a tonic. It's wonderful to rebalance our body naturally. And it does have many wonderful properties for anti-inflammation, no question about it. But the problem with most ginger tea is that it is quite hard on the stomach. So, and it doesn't taste the best because can be bitter. So a lot of people put sugar. You see, so you have to find a ginger tea that's not high in sugar. And that is really a wonderful way to do it.
All right. So that's our top 10 best anti-inflammatory foods. And we are so happy to be able to share this with you.
Yeah, food is such an important part of who we are. My own recovery has been greatly accelerated because my family, including my daughter Carrie here, knows what are the right food. And it makes such a big difference. I encourage you, all of the viewers out there, to really do some homework and focus on that aspect.